Future Makers, welcome to TeacherPreneur. Let's start with our teacher stories. Today's story is a very interesting one and it's called Life in a Jar. A professor stood before a class with an empty jar in front of her. As the class began, she started filling it with golf balls and asked the students if the jar was full. They agreed it was. The professor then picked up a box of pebbles and poured it into the jar. Upon shaking it lightly, all the pebbles rolled open into the areas between the golf balls. She again asked if the jar was full. They said it was. She next picked up a box of sand and poured it into the jar. Of course, the sand filled up everything else. She asked one more if the jar was full. The students responded with a yes. The professor then produced flavored milk from under the table and poured the entire contents in the jar, effectively filling the empty space between the sand. Everyone laughed. The professor then said, "My dear students, I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. The golf ball represents the important things that matter to you, like your family, health, passion, children, etc. If everything else was lost and only these remains, your jar would still look full. Pebbles are the important other things that matter, like job, house, car, money, etc. Sand is just everything else, the small stuff. If we put the sand first, there is no room for pebbles and golf balls. The same goes for life. If you spend the energy on small stuff, you will never have room for things that are actually important to you. So set your priorities right and take care of the golf balls first." With this, a student raised her hand and inquired about the milk. The professor smiled and said, "I am glad you asked. The milk just shows you that no matter how full your life may feel, there's always a room for dessert. Hence, don't let the child inside you ever die." If you like today's story and you think you learned something from it, do like, share, comment and subscribe to TeacherPreneur. See you soon.